in preparation for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. The new kicking weapons and possibly the constant throwing daggers might fit into this build pretty well, so I wanted to get something prepared for that. Aesthetically, the pike works, acts as like a bow. Then we have the spike castus or cestus, however you pronounce it. That's going to do us a lot of damage, get some good staggers. Let's see. So, these are my stats. 40 vigor, 21 mind. We're going to want to be using weapon arts pretty often, and I'll tell you why here shortly. We went with 29 endurance so that we could fast roll. 17 strength, but it's really 12. Aesthetically, the pike fits. And if we switched one of our talismans, we could switch off between these and the twin blades. The different twin blades. We could also use the Guardian Sword Spear with Giant Hunt for some of the more difficult enemies. We're going to take advantage of using Dragon Communion Seal. And that's pretty much it. What I've been rolling, though, because the moveset is more monk-esque, if you will. Quick attacks, things of that nature. So that's what I've been rolling. And when I roll Eleonora's Pole Blade, I switch to Lord of Blood's Exaltation to get the most damage. And, I mean, monks are supposed to be fluid fighters. And if I could get this weapon art on the pike, I would certainly use that instead. But that's not the case. We use Rejection. We use Blessing's Boon just for that constant regeneration of HP. Golden Vow. Flame Grant Me Strength, which is really going to benefit the damage for Eleonora's Pole Blade. When we do use regular weapons, we can buff it with Blood Flame Blade. Flame Cleanse Me, it's all around good utility spell. And then Catch Flame, why not? Just something quick, doesn't got to do a whole bunch of damage. So, I mean, that's the build in a nutshell. I'm working towards, right now this is what I have it as for my mixed Wondrous Physic. I'm going to get I forget the name of it, but it increases multi-hit damage. I think it's like the spike cracked something or other, I don't know. But I'm working towards that. You don't get that until the snow area, mountaintop of the Giants. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're working towards. So I'm going to go through the Royal Capital and finish off Margit or Morgott, whichever it is, I can't remember, and I'll end the stream. Look at the damage. It's going to drop down again, I would assume, to like 580 something. Yeah, 583. So, and that's without any other real buffs. Once we use the Wondrous Physic, that goes up. Once we include that other cracked here, it's going to go up even further. I would guess that we would hit in the thousands, possibly. So, I mean, that's pretty solid damage. Not to mention, this weapon staggers like nobody's business in PvE. So I've already gone through, I beat Godfrey the Golden just to get my 4th talisman slot so that I could semi-complete the build. So obviously we won't be fighting him on stream, but I saved the last boss to where we could do that. Don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm not rolling a shield or anything that I can parry with. Fast roll is what I'm leaning on pretty hard here. And my ability to poise through attacks with this weapon art. Whatever, not the cleanest. I'll take it though. Gotta love that endgame scaling on early game enemies.
Let's go.
Hey, what up, Blaze? Let's see how bad I get my ass kicked. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I did a little character customization. So, I wanted to roll with the pike because aesthetically it fits. You know, it looks like a big... It looks like he's carrying a big long bow. But damage-wise and otherwise, this fits the moveset of a monk, I feel like.
What about Godskin?
So Godskin is good, but to get the most damage out of the stats that I chose, I went with this. So this scales with both Dex and Arcane. Not only that, it boosts the innate bleed damage on this weapon. If I were to change to the Twin Blade or even the Godskin for that matter, what I would be able to do is buff it with Blood Flame Blade or any of the, let me see, any of these, like Poison Grease, Rot Grease, and that's going to scale off of my Arcane as well. You would infuse them keen. That way you got the most out of your deck stat, which I chose 55. I had it at 60, but I dropped it down to get more endurance for light rolls because I'm going light armor. And that's really my only defensive perk on this whole build. I'm not running any shields, anything like that. Just pure monk. And I wanted to put some extra points into mine so that we could use and abuse the weapon arts. So if you look though, let me equip it. I'll go ahead and swap this talisman out. Nope, strength. There we go. So if you look, it's still like a monk kind of aesthetic. This does huge poise damage against all things, and the damage is phenomenal on this. And I'll go show it real quick. And this is super low weapon upgrade. And this is a heavily armored guy. See how much hyper armor it gives? Gives a ton. And then, I mean, we all know what this does. And then if you go Guardians, Sword Spear. He'll knock me back, sure, but look, I mean, the stagger potential on this thing, and the moveset's quick, dude. Yeah, dude, it's nasty. It's nasty. This whole build, like, and so for PvP purposes, I put these weapons in. Look at, and it does Hellberg stagger damage because it is a Hellberg. Oh, make it, man. It's super good. I went through basically the whole game. I left this boss to where I could make a video and kind of showcase it. But, I mean, I breezed through this. Let me sort my inventory real quick. I hate doing this on stream. I'm usually better prepared, but you can utilize the Reduvia if you want with this build, you know, but that's not very monk-esque, if you will. I kept this just in case I need to do like strike type damage, but I probably won't have to. You could use Vike's War Spear. That's another really good weapon for this build. The Clinging Bones would do really good on this, and Raptor's Talons for sure would do great on this build. If you wanted to go more ninja instead of monk. Let me show Vike's though. Vike's is nasty and it fits the aesthetic. Did I get rid of it? I think I did. I put it in the inventory. Oh, so something to note is this weapon here scales off of... Yeah, Eleanor is main only because the moveset fits the monk, in my opinion. Quick moving, really fluid movements, you know, does several attacks at once kind of thing. If I could get that weapon art on the pike, I would use the pike. But Vike's War Spear, you see that it scales in faith, strength, and dex, mainly dex. But the madness buildup builds off of our arcane stat. That's something a lot of people don't know. So, I mean, aesthetically, this fits. And the weapon art's kind of the same as what I had on the pike, only this procs madness as well, and does fire damage. So just the kind of... And this has no upgrades whatsoever. Has ridiculous hyper armor. Now imagine if this was... Yeah. They are. Oh, he got me. I thought I would be able to poise through it. I didn't have enough health. But if I was to upgrade this weapon, it would do tons of damage. Eleanor's pole blade. I mean, the whole thing fits. Like the backstep R1s, the charged R2s. It's insane. Just a regular R2s. That looks like a monk to me. Time for revenge with an actual good weapon that I have upgraded. Look at that. Just one L2. The drip's on point though, right? Oh yeah, and it's cheap, bro. Look. 11 to cast, 6 for that second like leap away and 2 attacks in it. It's so good. And like I said, don't get the damage all crazy. It's 586, like just as is. But once this procs and this procs and let's see, because I didn't put it back on, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, I can get this up to 800-ish. If I use this physic, and I don't have the other tier that I want, because it boosts damage on successive hits, just like these do, but even more so, our damage is going to be over into the thousands. So our AR is going to be like 1400-ish. It's going to be in that ballpark. Once you put on, let's see, your spells, so Golden Vow, it went from 583 I went from 583 to 867, and that's without any of these proc. Okay, and I have one slot that I can still get 21% more damage out of potentially on successive hits, and that stacks multiplicatively. So I might be understating the damage, the full damage that we can do just with these stats. 55 Dex, 45 Arcane.
So they for 1,000 easy.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So I'm gonna go get this perfume bottle over here, and then I'm gonna go and fight Morgott. I'm gonna show you how quickly I destroy this boss. And hopefully I don't make myself look like an ass and get killed, but the damage is insane. And this isn't even as strong as I could be.
Lol, it happens.
So I made this build with you in mind because you're a quick attacking fool and like you like to keep pressure up. Watch how far I can be away too. And that whole time you get hyper armor. So yeah, of course you get hit. And this build, I mean, if you think about it, say you didn't want to run light armor, light roll like I am, you know, for the aesthetic. You got 29. You get 29 points of endurance to get, like, let me just give you a for instance. I could throw this on. I could throw this on. Let's see. That'll take me into heavy territory. I've got 65 poise, which is huge. Alright? And we could go even higher if we wanted to. I'm sure of it. I just don't have the one armor set. You're literally a tank that does thousands of damage with this exact stat setup. There's lighter, better armors that give you more poise. So just to kind of put that into perspective too. You saw those weapons though, right? No, I had a medium roll with all that on. I like to be able to roll fast. Plus it helps in the ganks. So the shitty part about rolling roll light armor, the shitty part about this though is that I get staggered by everything. And it can be difficult to get out of sometimes. For going through the DLC, this boiled crab is going to be huge for just like general exploration. And then when you get to the tougher stuff, go on and throw you Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength on. Also Blessings Boon to get that little bit of HP back, you know, as you progress. So now I've got everything I need. This I can't, the final one I can't get until Mountaintop of the Giants. So now I'm primed, ready to go beat the final boss here. So let's just go do that. Easy peasy.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy... Thy part in this shall not be
Wasn't super clean, but you see I got one of those combos off clean and it took half his damn health bar. Not bad. Not bad. So something I want to pass along to you is that I did some testing. So at 150, all these YouTubers are saying, oh, dump 60 vigor. If you're going to 150, 60 vigor. Look, you're getting 250 HP max more than what I have. Okay? Not worth it. You're wasting stats. You wasted 20 stat points to get 250 at most hit points over what I have. Those points are better used elsewhere. As far as mine goes, if you're not casting, and you're strictly using weapon arts, whether it's beefier weapon arts or not, 19 is a good number, like a solid fucking number. Your endurance, if you're wanting to go heavier armor, you're gonna go to 36 at most. For what we're doing, or even casters, hybrid builds, anything like that, look, you can achieve at minimum 52 poise, which is what's needed for PvE. What's suggested for PvP is 62. You can achieve that under 30 stamina. Or endurance, I'm sorry. 26 would be a good number for 62 poise, all your weapons, shields. So you could have several weapons equipped and a decent parry shield, and 62 poise. For dexterity soft cap is at 55. You're not getting much more damage if you go up to 60. I think it's like 10. So I stopped this build at 55 for that reason. Faith, you need 25 to get two of the best spells in the game. Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. And that is good for every single build, with the exception of maybe intelligence-based builds, because they don't technically use fire, or generally use fire, but they can. Arcane, stop at 45 unless you're only leveling Arcane for your damage stat. Then go up to 60. That's the best information I can pass along to you. You've seen my damage output on this. It's solid. I can even go into the later game areas and show you the kind of damage. I mean, I can one-shot anything with the weapon art. I guess something just to think about and chew on it for a minute. Get used to it. I used to use 60 as a crutch myself until I learned better. I'm just under 2,000 hours on this game. I know what I'm speaking on. I'm gonna get there.
Allow me a moment to confess we were unable to prevent this.
Once I get through this dialogue, I'm gonna show you something. Alright, so we're out of that. So, I'm running away from you, right, in PvP? I'm running away. I hit my L2. That whole time I have...
But I know more.
Yeah, so 55 for Dex. I would go up to, what is it, like 67 Strength if you're only leveling Strength. Or using Strength as a damage stat, I should say. If you're only using Arcane, you can get to 60. Going up to 80 doesn't really make a huge difference. It will on the innate status effects, so like this bleed will go up significantly, but my physical damage won't, using Arcane as a main stat. So in that regard, I mean, it's kind of user preference. Going to 60, I mean, that's going to give you plenty of the status proc, or status build-up. There's really, I don't really see a reason to take it over 60, to be honest. Those stats are better used elsewhere. Dex, definitely stop at 55 unless you're like pure Dex. Then you could take it up to 80. But again, I don't think that it's worth it. Yeah, that's really all I can tell you. Now, if you're going pure faith or pure intelligence, definitely take those to 80, get them there. If you're hybrid, whatever catalyst you decide to use, So if you're pure faith, obviously you're going to go to 80. Same with intelligence. But if say I was going faith arcane, I would go 45 60 or 45 45 for both faith and arcane. In that case, it makes sense that you would use arcane as your damage stat, and you're going to get the most out of your scaling. So this can be up to like 323-ish if I went 45-45 instead of the 263 that I currently have. But 263s, I mean, that's perfect for what I'm doing. I only have one damage spell that I never use. Same thing. So going intelligence faith, you could stop at 45-45 or 50-50, whichever you're comfortable with. I just made a pyromancer build that used intelligence, faith, and arcane. Arcane being my damage stat, and I got just enough to use the spells that I wanted to use and the incantations that I wanted to use. So basically, it's a pure pyro build. I use all the Gelmer spells, so roiling magma and those types, plus all of the pyromancy incantations that you can get. And I do more, and I have more utility than if you went like a pure or even intelligence faith hybrid build. I'll have to showcase that at some point. I almost get bored using it though, because it does so much damage. It does so much damage. And there's no real challenge because I can hit shit from miles away. And it just obliterates them. If you want to hang out, I'll show you that real quick. Alright, so this is my arcane pyromancer. And so I went 45 intelligence, 35 faith, 45 arcane. I have 30 mind. Think about that. I can spam spells for days. Again, hit my 40 vigor mark, 20 endurance. I can medium roll and have all this shit equipped. Okay, I've got maxed out spell slots. This thing, the Ripple Crescent Halberd, it's a sleep monster. I can proc sleep on PvP enemies and no more than 2 hits. Same thing with Scarlet Rot. I can do the same shit. I'll proc it in 1 or 2 hits, depending on resistances. Let me go to a lot. Hold on. I have 173 FP points. 173. I can cast for days. So let's go end game area. Now, I'm going to shoot these spells and incantations with no buffs. And you can see the only thing giving me a damage buff is this when I do a charge spell. Keep in mind this is an endgame area. Hair's charged. And that's a weaker spell, by the way. This probably isn't going to do so well on this. It usually works better on bigger enemies because it does every one of those explosions does damage. That's why that particular spell is better on big enemies. So like your dragons and such. Look at that. That's just catch flame. Regular ass catch flame. Doing 900 something damage. Catch flame takes like, I don't know, maybe 6 FP, 7 at most. No, 10. But still, I'm gonna get to, hold on, Blood Boon. This procs bleed. On, I'm gonna get to the different spells. So this I really want to showcase because this is huge. So I'll cast it out here. You can hit direct and it does damage, but if you can get this explosion to hit, it does like more than double the damage, and it leaves this puddle of magma. So I'm just gonna show you real quick. Keep in mind, my wondrous physic isn't coming into play here. I didn't get it to hit. Here, let me do this. So in PvE, this spell, the enemies kind of go after it and kind of look at it like, what's going on? Watch the damage. One shot. Oh, so here we go. This is a good combo. So I got the Spike Star Fist or whatever. And, you know, for the blood damage and whatever, but mostly for this Endure. So I'll get in close, cast Endure. I can tank hits and cast this spell. Now for the good spells. Let's go this guy here. Look at that. I can literally one-shot anything. I'm not going to charge this one. Well, maybe I will because he's got a shield up. It's not bad though. I'll show you the. So I got 324 and 324 sorcery scaling. I think the most you can get out of pure is like 380 something. So I'm not far off of that, and I have a ton of utility. I don't know, just something to think about. I'm doing the same damage almost that everybody else is doing, and I have a lot of utility. Basically the same stats. I don't know. I hope you guys learned something, and if there's a particular build for a weapon or something that I can make for you guys, let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas, and I want to put out stuff that's relevant to you all. What do you want to build? And you're like, damn, I don't even know where to start. All right, I'll catch you guys around.